Hey y'all, welcome to At Home with Chef Jolie. And if you true to this and not new to this, welcome back. Today's episode is about 20 years or so in the making and one that's very near and dear to my heart. Today we're gonna be making jollof rice and low country red rice and talking about the relationship between the two. But you know I gotta start with a cocktail, right? So we're gonna make a Hibiscus Mule. And I don't even want to hold y'all too much longer. Come on in here, have a seat, and let's get started.
Tell me now, are you hungry? Looking for something for your tummy? Well, look no further. This chef is got you covered. Cooking at home with Chef Jolie.
Okay, before we get into our jollof rice and our low country red rice, the cocktail that I want to share with you all today is a Hibiscus Mule, and it's just a variation of a Moscow Mule. So we're gonna start with about an ounce and a half of vodka, just like that. And I have this wild hibiscus flowers in syrup. You can use this if you can find it at your local spirit store, or I'll have a recipe down below. I'm doing about an ounce of the syrup. I'll have a recipe down below in the description for hibiscus simple syrup that you can use with dried hibiscus. You can make it with dried hibiscus flowers. So if you can't find it, you can do the hibiscus simple syrup. So next I am going to put in the juice of half of a lime, just like that. And like the traditional Moscow Mule, we have some ginger beer. So I'm gonna put the ginger beer, we're gonna shake it all up, and it's gonna be so good. And the best part about this, y'all, the hibiscus flower, it's native to West and East Africa as well. And it says to have these amazing health benefits. It can lower your blood sugar, blood pressure, also cholesterol, cardiovascular health. So not only is it gonna taste good and make you feel good, you know, physically and health-wise, some great properties there. So putting in my ginger beer, got my copper mug here. I also have some mint, we got some lime, and we're gonna garnish it, and I'm gonna taste it, tell y'all how good it is. Shake it up real good. Okay. Look at this beautiful color too. Delicious. And let me tell y'all, with the jollof rice, some people use ginger in jollof rice. So this ginger beer, along with the jollof rice, marriage made in heaven. All right, let me garnish it. Some nice fresh mint like that, and I have a little lime, and here we have it. This is the Hibiscus Mule. Quality control time. Perfect. It's springtime. This is crisp. This is refreshing. It's got the hibiscus flower in there that's good for your body and good for your health. So cheers. Let's go talk about this jollof rice and low country red rice. Let's go cook. Okay, so you know we are doing the relationship between West African jollof rice and low country red rice. I am so happy to be doing this episode. For the last 20 years or so, I think that this moment has been in the making. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Lots of ingredients. We're gonna start with the jollof rice because that's where it all started, honey. West Africa, and in Charleston, South Carolina, where my family is from, the low country, it became red rice. So we're gonna do that second, but starting with the jollof, I have here some red bell peppers, some yellow onion. Sometimes you will see red onion be used. You know, it's the same deal. Trust your gut, not the recipe, unless it's my grandmother's mac and cheese. So if y'all go onto IG and you Google Jollof Wars, you're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff come up because I learned that there's a big debate whether or not Nigerian jollof, Ghanaian jollof, Senegalese jollof, which one is the best. You know, I ain't gonna get in the middle of that at all. I'm gonna let y'all decide, and y'all tell me down in the comments who makes the best jollof, which country. I will tell you that I learned from Helen, who used to work at my catering company from Nigeria. She's from the Yoruba tribe. So today I'm gonna show you a Nigerian version, and that's all I'm gonna say. Y'all tell me in the comments which's the best. So what I put in here are some habaneros. 2 is gonna make it real spicy. 1 is probably enough for me, but to honor my brothers and sisters in West Africa, we're gonna make it spicy. So I have a little bit of chicken stock here. If you were making some stewed goat or stewed beef, you may have some beef stock or you may have some goat stock, but I always got chicken stock on hand, so I'm gonna use chicken stock. We're gonna blend that all up, and that's gonna make the pepper sauce that is the base of a lot of West African dishes. For the jollof rice, for the stewed chicken, stewed beef, stewed goat, that red sauce is a go-to. That pepper sauce, I'm sorry, is a go-to. So let me blend it. All right, that's good. So once you have this blended, you boil it down to boil all of the water out, and it looks something like this. Let me turn on my stove here, because we are about to start making this jollof. So this is what the pepper sauce looks like. You just, after you get it to this consistency, you put it in a pot, turn on the pot, and you let it simmer until most of the water cooks out and it becomes more like a paste, like right here. Okay? So, next thing is I have some vegetable oil that I'm gonna put in there. Recipe is gonna be in the description down below. And I'm gonna put a little bit of butter, because that's the way Helen taught me how to make jollof rice. So let me tell y'all why this episode is so near and dear to my heart. Y'all have heard me talk before about being Geechee, you know, speaking Gullah. About 86% of the first Africans brought to the United States were brought here through the coastal, they were brought here to the coastal areas of South Carolina, which is Charleston, coastal Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, and that's called the Low Country. So growing up, just like West Africans, if there's a celebration, you're gonna have jollof rice, right? Same way in Charleston, South Carolina, and the Low Country. If it's a wedding, if it's a birthday party, a baby shower, whatever, there's gonna be red rice there. And the cooking methods are a little bit different, but you know what? For years, I wondered, was there a correlation? And there is. So I'm gonna just show y'all the difference between the two. So I got my onions, I got my butter and my oil. Then I'm gonna put in my onions to saute. Again, you may see some use red onions, but also you can use the yellow onions. I'm using yellow onions because I always have yellow onions. Most people always have yellow onions at home, so you can use the yellow onions too. So the next thing, once you're getting your onions going, you take this pepper sauce here, and it may be a little bit spicy, but you know what? Spicy is good. I'm gonna put the pepper sauce in here, like that. And I'm gonna show y'all what it looks like. We're sauteing or frying this pepper sauce with the onions, with the butter. And just like I cook my Low Country food, you know, it is the layering of the flavors that's so important for things to taste out of this world. So that's what we're gonna do next. Right here I have some curry powder. So I'm gonna put curry powder in there. I like a lot of curry. So I got the curry in there. And I'm going to start mixing that in. I wish y'all can smell it. I love the smell of curry. It's a sweet, aromatic fragrance that is just, when you smell curry, you know it's curry. Then I have thyme. If y'all remember episode 1, if you haven't seen episode 1, season 2, when I made the Jamaican style oxtails, thyme. Thyme was a very, very important ingredient, and it's the same thing. Isn't that amazing how that happens from Africa to Jamaica? The correlation between the ingredients. I just love that history. Okay, so we got the thyme in there. Then I'm gonna add a dabaduya. Now, of course, they weren't adding a dabaduya when jollof rice, this recipe was created, but a dabaduya is an everyday seasoning that you can use every day in everything, including jollof rice. And y'all be asking me how to get a dabaduya. You know it's 40% less sodium than Lowry's. I know y'all got Lowry's in the cabinet, but get you some of dabaduya. The link to purchase that is down below if you're interested. So I got the dabaduya in there. The next thing I'm gonna add is, this is in Africa, a lot of times they will use Maggi, which is the chicken bouillon cubes. You can buy it already in the powder form, or you can add it in the, buy it by the cube, or you can use Knorr chicken base. So that's what I'm using. I'm using the Knorr chicken base to go in there. And again, I'm building all those flavors into the base. So far it's in there: oil, butter, the onions, the pepper sauce that we blended and boiled down. We got curry powder, dried thyme, and then we have a dabaduya and the Maggi. So the next thing we're gonna add is this tomato paste. So this is what gives it, the jollof rice, that red, deep, deep, deep red color. It's the tomato paste. So I'm stirring in the tomato paste and also kind of cooking it, frying it a little bit, just like that. And the difference, you'll see the difference when I make the low country red rice, but one of the main differences is the type of rice. So when my grandfather taught me how to make low country red rice, it was with regular long grain rice. However, when I learned from Helen how to make jollof rice, she uses parboiled rice. And it looks a little bit different. You can see the color is a little bit browner, a little bit more golden, and the rice has been boiled a little bit, whereas the regular long grain rice has not been boiled at all. It's white. So that is parboiled rice, where we're gonna use long grain rice with the low country. So with the low country red rice. So I think that we're pretty good here with our tomato paste, our onions, and all of our seasonings and our peppers. Now I'm gonna add in my chicken stock, like that. Now, again, if you're making goat or beef or what have you, you can use either of those stocks to make your jollof rice flavorful, wonderful, and beautiful. So what I have left over, I got bay leaves left over, I got garlic left over, all those things left over, and I'm gonna add those in after I get the rice going. Okay, so got the chicken stock in. Now I'm gonna add the rice. So I'm gonna add all of this rice, like that, almost all of it. I'm looking at how much liquid I have here. So what I understand, kind of like how my mom is with the mac and cheese, those little crispy parts of the baked mac and cheese, those are her favorite. So, you know, if you bake lasagna, baked mac and cheese, and around the edges you get those golden crispy parts. So from what I understand and what I've learned is, when you're making your jollof rice, and the first 10 minutes you boil it really good and it kind of sticks to the bottom of the pan and you get these crispy, smoky, really delicious parts of the rice, that is like, that's a treat for the chef. So for the first 10 minutes, we're gonna cover this, we're gonna let it boil on high, let it get nice and crispy around the edges, and then I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna add my bay leaves, I'm gonna add my garlic, I'm gonna add some foil, we're gonna cover it, simmer it low for 30 minutes, and it's gonna be this smoky, delicious curry, sweetness from the curry, this sweetness from the thyme. I'm so happy that I have finally been able to connect the dots from Charleston, South Carolina to the homeland, to my ancestors with this jollof rice. So I'm gonna cover this up and then add in my bay leaf and my garlic. And then I'm gonna show y'all the low country red rice. And then we're gonna bring it all back together. I'm gonna taste them together and I'm gonna tell y'all how wonderful it is to have them finally meet together. Okay, y'all, so we got our jollof rice going on back there under the foil. And now it's time for the low country red rice. I got some vegetable oil here going, and I'm gonna do my onions first. My grandfather taught me his recipe for this low country red rice. We just call it red rice, but it's low country, you know, just to decipher between the West African jollof rice and the low country red rice. We'll call it low country red rice for these purposes. But anyway, he taught me over the phone. I spent all of my summers, spring breaks, Christmas, Easter, anytime we were out of school for more than 2 days, my mother sent me home, me and my sister, to Charleston, South Carolina. So when I would come back to Atlanta, and y'all know my mama can't cook. It ain't no secret. We know she can't boil water. She gonna see this, and she not gonna feel away because it's public information. But anyway, I would call my grandmother, I would call my grandfather and ask them how to cook certain things. And this is one of the things that I'll never forget that my grandfather told me how to make over the phone. And I have perfected it over the last 20 or more years. So I got onions, I got sausage. Some people may put bacon, but it's about the smoked sausage. And y'all know this is a beef smoked sausage because I don't do the pork. But you put your onions in there, you put your sausage in there, you let those cook down. And my grandfather's recipe used tomato sauce. Some people will use tomato paste, but the way my granddaddy taught it to me, let me move out of the way and turn it down a little bit so I don't get popped. Y'all see I already got this burn right here because I'm a chef in real life, not just on YouTube. Got burnt last week, so let me turn that down. But this is the way my grandfather taught it to me. You'll see some recipes that will put green bell peppers. And I really feel like the bell peppers probably comes, you know, from that jollof, that history. But my grandfather didn't do bell peppers, so I don't do bell peppers. I just do the onions, I do the smoked sausage, and from here, in the tomato sauce. That's gonna get the red color of the rice. From here, I add a dab of douya, because it's an everyday seasoning. It tastes good on everything, every day. Got my dab of douya going. And then I have a little bit of black pepper that I'll add, like that. And I forgot this. I add a little bit of water just to thin out that tomato sauce a little bit. You could probably add chicken stock too, but I am doing the exact recipe that my grandfather taught me. His birthday was actually, what's today's date? Today is April 11th. So I don't know when you're gonna see this, but his birthday was on April 5th. He would have been 90 years old if he was still here with us today. So happy belated birthday, Granddaddy. Thank you for teaching me this history and this culture. Then a little bit of sugar. And as I learned how to make the West African jollof rice, there's no sugar added there. But as I started to think and compare the two, what they taste like, I really feel like the curry, because to me the curry has a sweetness to it. So I feel like maybe when the Africans got to South Carolina and coastal Georgia, maybe they didn't have access to the curry. So they were able to make it do what it do with a little bit of sugar, is what I think. And the same thing with scotch bonnets or habaneros, maybe they didn't have that. So just a little bit of cayenne pepper is what I use to give it a little bit of kick, just like that. Okay, so you let that simmer. I let mine simmer probably for about 15 minutes or so, just to let all those flavors come together. And what's really good is when that tomato sauce and those flavors, it actually soaks into the sausage. And when it cooks in that rice, it soaks in even more. And every time you get a bite of that sausage, it's like heaven. So let me show you this pot. I am going to take this cast iron off and sit it to the side right here. And I'm gonna show you this Charleston rice steamer. Don't talk about my pot. This pot is about 20 years old, but let me show you what it is. When I graduated from high school about 5 years ago, you know, it wasn't that long ago, my grandmother bought me these rice steamers because this is how we grew up. This is how she cooked rice. In the bottom, you put water, and on the top is where you put your rice. So I'm pouring my rice in here like that. And then from here, I'm gonna take the meat and the onions and put it on top, and then pour the tomato sauce over. I'm gonna cover it, I'm gonna turn it on, and then it is going to cook with that delicious, flavorful, smoky sausage, those sauteed onions, and that delicious seasoned tomato sauce. And we'll fluff it all up, and you're gonna have low country red rice. So let's get it together, pull the jollof rice over and the low country red rice, and we're gonna put them side by side. We're gonna taste them. It's gonna be the first time I've tasted them at the same time, side by side. So you're gonna get a real-time reaction of how well they pair together and what the similarities are. So let's get it together. Okay, I'm so doggone excited. Y'all don't even know. For the first time, I have jollof rice, which is right here. Jollof rice, right next to its little sister, red rice. And just by looking at it, this is the first time I've ever seen them side by side. So they look pretty similar to me in terms of the color, and y'all saw the whole process. So before I start drooling, let's go ahead and plate them up. So I'm gonna plate them up the same way. There we go. Nice and fluffy. That's that bay leaf in there. Bay leaf. Bay leaf. That's that Hibiscus Mule talking right now. I'm gonna go ahead and plate up my jollof rice like that. You see down in the bottom, see it has that little crispy, almost burnt. From what they tell me, from what Helen tells me, that is a treat for the chef to enjoy those little crispy, crunchy pieces at the end. All right, that's my jollof. And this is my red rice right here. As you can see, it's nice. It's fluffy too, except it has those delicious smoked sausage pieces that has also absorbed all of that tomato sauce and that adabaduya and all the seasonings. So let's put that together like that. And I'm gonna taste them side by side, child. For the first time, gonna get the live, real live reaction. There we go. What do you think? I mean, I see a little bit more yellow here, and that is probably, not probably, I'm sure that that is from the curry that's in there. There's no curry in the low country red rice. And so what will we eat this with? So on the low country side, fried chicken, fried fish, fried shrimp, all of those things, blackened fish, shrimp. You'd eat that with the low country red rice. With jollof, you may have some stewed beef or goat meat, or even some fried fish or grilled fish, grilled chicken. Kind of similar. I love how similar they are. So I'm gonna go with the jollof rice first and taste. Look at it, nice and fluffy. Y'all have to tell me down below, my brothers and sisters from West Africa, what do you think from the looks? Okay. I taste the habanero. I love curry. I taste that curry. A little bit of spice on the tongue. The texture of the rice, because it's that parboiled rice, texture is a little bit softer. The grains of the rice are a little bit bigger. I love that. Now, let me taste the Low Country red rice with the smoked sausage. Takes me back to my childhood. The smokiness of the sausage. I love it when the sausage absorbs all of that red, the tomato sauce. I couldn't even get it out. It tastes so good. I love that flavor. And the heat is more subtle here, but here the heat, I taste it on my tongue. I don't know. I love them both. What I really love is being able to make a connection as an African American in the United States, being able to draw the line and really see my history. Jollof rice, where do you think it came from? I'm sorry, not jollof rice, jambalaya. Jambalaya rice, where do you think it came from? Jollof rice, right? When you think about arroz con pollo, jollof rice. When you think about Mexican red rice, where did it come from? Jollof rice. This rice and this recipe was created in the 1300s. So it's the history, it's the foundation. I'm so proud to be from the Low Country, to be a Geechee girl, to understand the Gullah dialect, the Gullah country, and be able to just draw these lines between these two. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go fry me up some fish, and I'm about to enjoy both of them at the same time. And I wanna say thank you. Thank you for being here at home with Chef Jolie. Thank you for enjoying this history lesson, enjoying this Hibiscus Mule. Go down in the comments and comment, pick up the recipes. Make sure you like and make sure you share, because sharing is caring. Turn on your notifications too, because you never know what I'm gonna be cooking up. The only way you're gonna know is if you turn on your notifications and join me. Cheers. Thank you. See y'all next time.
Tell me now, are you hungry? Looking for something for your tummy?